Ruthina Seje. You're watching New Vision TV News. We are broadcasting from the New Vision newsroom. We are going to start with the news around Uganda, then the news around East Africa, around the world, and later in the bulletin, we'll look at our daily Pearl of Africa series and also a special report you should look out for. Let us start the bulletin from Kampala. The Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, has downplayed the presence of top party members at the launch of the Alliance for National Transformation today. Now, former leader of opposition in Parliament, Professor Ugenga Latigo, gave a brief address before inviting Major General Mugisha Muntu, the founder of the new party, to deliver his speech. This triggered speculation that he could be contemplating joining ANT. In response, FDC party spokesman Ssemujju Ibrahim Ngada told New Vision TV on phone that the party has no problem with anybody leaving it for another of their choice. He stressed FDC is not a prison to hold people.
I don't know whether they have said they have joined. I know Alaso is one of the promoters. I don't know whether Latigo and others, because as far as I am concerned, they are still members of the FDC. But I have said repeatedly that FDC is not a prison.
Other FDC bigwigs who attended the launch of ANT include former leader of opposition in Parliament, Winnie Kiza, and former Secretary General Ali Salaso, Bugweli MP, Abdu Katuntu, and Amanya Mushega, an FDC leader. Moving on to Otuke district, Kampala residents who have been receiving charcoal transported from Otuke may have to look for alternatives after the long arm of the law has caught up with their suppliers. For a long time, Otuke has been one of the biggest sources of charcoal used in Lira and Kampala. At the same time, it has been the epicenter of environmental degradation in northern Uganda. The degradation has forced officials from Environmental Protection Police Unit and the National Environmental Management Authority NEMA to take action. On Monday, they stormed the bushes of Padel and homes in Otuke districts to enforce and monitor environmental degradation in the areas.
You know, the issues of charcoal burning and tree cutting are transboundary. The charcoal that comes from this side ends up in our region. So that's why we have to come here and look at the extent of degradation in the landscape. It's still alarming. Charcoal burning is still undergoing, tree cutting, and we have also witnessed the cutting of threatened tree species, that's the shea nut. That's the most target because it has they say it has good charcoal. That's why people are targeting it.
Back in Kampala, Minister for Finance Matia Kasaija has stridently pushed back against allegations by a section of lawmakers blaming government for civil servants in a number of districts missing the April salary. Kasaija told Parliament that wages, salaries, and other emoluments of civil servants get the first call on the budget. He says the government can postpone anything but not salaries. Kasaija told Parliament that funds for the current financial quarter have long been released and that if civil servants in the said districts are missing their April salary, the technocrats from the affected local governments are to blame. The issue of the civil servants missing their April salary was raised by David Abala, Ngora County MP, with a number of lawmakers saying their districts were equally affected. Workers MP Margaret Rabshaija unsuccessfully sought to table on the floor of Parliament the names of districts she claims have been affected by the glitch on processing civil servants' salaries. Rabshaija said that 78 districts have been affected. News from MUKONO district. Ever since a survey in 2017 revealed water from piped wells in MUKONO Central Division was contaminated, nothing has been done about it. This is raising fears that the people living and doing business in the division could contract sanitation-related diseases. Josephine Mbabazi, the division health inspector, confirms people are using contaminated water. She says the survey conducted in 2017 found most of the piped wells in the locality with contaminated water. Over 20 piped wells in MUKONO Central Division were surveyed. Let's close off the news around Uganda from Soroti district, where police in East Choga region has arrested a suspected serial motor vehicle robber. Medi Chizito, 28 years, a resident of Mbale, was arrested in Tororo as he tried to enter Kenya through Busia with a stolen vehicle, UAT 462, from Nakatunya ward in Soroti municipality. Michael Dong, the police spokesman, East Choga region, confirmed to the New Vision that the vehicle stolen belonged to David Omeke. He is detained at Soroti Central Police Station pending investigations. That is it for the news around Uganda. Now let's take a look at the news around East Africa and around the world. We start off from Kenya. A total of 17 foreigners involved in illegal gambling business in the country have been deported in renewed efforts by the government to tame the betting craze. The development comes after Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matialanga's directive to the immigration PS, Gordon Kihalanga, to review working permits of foreigners who had applied to conduct their businesses but ended up investing in the betting industry. Moving on to Tanzania, tourism companies operating in Tanzania will, as for next month, have to bid for the right to hunt in designated areas through a new online auction system. Tanzania Wildlife Management Authority says 26 hunting blocks will be met, with a maximum of 5 blocks allowed for any company. In South Sudan has voted to strengthen cooperation on infrastructure development with China to speed up transformation of the country following 5 years of turmoil. Rebecca Joshua Okwachi, Minister of Roads and Bridges, say China has provided strong support for South Sudanese peace and stability, including the country's national development, adding that these Chinese engineers are currently helping the ministry to build the capacity of staff and construction personnel. News from Rwanda. Rwanda has formally been admitted to the Economic Cooperation and Development Center, having applied to join the body. Established in 1961, OECD Development Center is an independent platform for knowledge sharing and policy dialogue between organizations for OECD member countries and developing economies to allow nations to interact on equal footing. We close the news around East Africa from Uganda. Robert Baldwin, an American pastor operating in Uganda, has reportedly gone into hiding after a miracle cure he was dispensing on people was busted by media in the US and Britain as bogus. According to Britain's Guardian newspaper, the pastor is running a network that gives up to some 50,000 Ugandans a miracle cure made from industrial bleach, which he claims cures several ailments, including cancer, HIV/AIDS, and malaria. Industrial bleach is used in making textiles. That is it for the news around East Africa. Let us take a look at the news around the world. we start from Indonesia. In the aftermath of election violence, this morning parts of Jakarta were littered with debris and burnt cars. The vibrant city looked like a war zone. At least 6 people were killed as violence erupted in Indonesia when police on Wednesday clashed with protesters opposed to President Joko Widodo's re-election. Dozens were arrested. Tension still hangs over the city. The US and Austrian embassies have issued security advisories to their citizens. In response to the violence, Indonesian authorities have restricted access to social media in a bid to stop the spreading of rumors and fake news. We move on to the United Kingdom. British Prime Minister Theresa May's final bid to salvage her EU divorce deal appeared doomed on Wednesday as pro-Brexit Conservatives and opposition MPs rejected her attempts at a compromise to end months of deadlock. May is set to face a torrid session at Prime Minister's questions in Parliament on the eve of European elections that Britain had not even expected to take part in 3 years after the Brexit referendum. Closing off the news around the world is a story from South Africa. South Africa's incoming president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has spoken about the composition of his new cabinet after registering a member of the 6th Parliament. The next parliament is due to be constituted May 22nd, which is today, exactly 2 weeks after the May 8th national elections, which the ruling African National Congress, ANC, he leads won with 57% of the valid votes cast. The electoral configuration of South Africa is such that the party with the highest number of seats deploys one of their own parliamentarians to become president. Ramaphosa took over from Jacob Zuma in February 2018 and led the ANC into the polls.